All right, hey there, everybody. It's Rev Kev. Pray you're having an awesome day today. So it's Wednesday. I'm back home. I was out of town last week on uh, on a spiritual leaders retreat here in the city that I live in. There's this organization that has been putting on these retreats to just help Christian leaders around our province just kind of reset and recharge. And so it was really awesome being away at that. And so now I'm back home and just getting caught up on a whole bunch of different things. And I literally had to clean up my geek corner because my cat trashed it the other night, like knocked over all my paint stuff, just completely destroyed everything. And so I managed to get it all cleaned up this morning, so I'm back for my Wednesday tea time. Just a time to chill out and hang out for a little bit while I take my afternoon tea break. And hey there, Miss Martin Muses. Hope you are doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Um, so basically, wanted to just hang out. I'm drinking peppermint. What am I drinking? Yeah, pure peppermint tea. This is what I've been doing. Again, trying to give up drinking coffee so much. You know, you get a little bit older, you got to start taking better care of yourself, right? And so, it's still really hot. Let that cool down for a moment. So, what I wanted to do is just hang out and talk about Willow. So, there's been a whole lot of conversation about Star Wars ever since Disney Plus Day. When was Disney? I guess that was last week, last Friday. So it's been just a hoopla of conversation about Star Wars and Kathleen Kennedy's contract being renewed and the fact that we didn't get any cool information released about Star Wars on Disney Plus Day. Yeah, it just seems quite void apart from one little Obi-Wan Kenobi, vignette, interview with Deborah Chow, the director, and Ewan McGregor, the actor playing Obi-Wan Kenobi. So nothing more than that. But what I've not seen anybody talking about is Willow. I don't know how many of you caught this, but there was a little clip that came out. Let me just kind of share my screen here. Go here. We're going to share my screen. We're going to share a tab. Um, yeah, let's share this. Yeah, so there was this whole little vignette thing that came out, with Warwick Davis going around and talking with the new cast from Willow. And I haven't seen anybody talking about this. Like, honestly, this was some big news for me here. Like, I was a diehard Willow fan, and like a huge Willow fan. Exactly, Willow. I was a huge Willow fan. And hey there, Sherry. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Um, and so the fact that I haven't seen any videos in my normal YouTube feed. I haven't seen anybody talking about this. So that's what I wanted to do a little bit today is talk about kind of this Willow announcement. Uh, Honestly, I'm not expecting a lot from this. I'm really not. I kind of just feel Lucasfilm, they're really just stirring the bottom of the barrel. It's like they're just digging up all old properties from the 80s and the 90s, and they're just stirring that nostalgia pot, just kind of trying to keep everything going. And 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 they're not even creating anything new. Like you'd think like a big production house like Lucasfilm, there'd be some new projects, some new fantasy, some new science fiction, some new something coming out of Lucasfilm. But it's nothing. It's all old stuff. Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Willow. And so that's all that's kind of happening. Hey, thank you so much for the super sticker. That's my first super sticker on my channel. So thank you. Very kind of you. I appreciate it. Um, so yeah, so basically in this video here, what we got was, Warwick Davis going around and introducing us to the new cast of this Willow series. I was thought it was cool that it's actually a series. We don't know if it's a limited series or if it's going to be a multiple season series. There's not a lot of information that's come out about it as of yet. But they bring us in here, and we, are introduced to a bunch of the cast here and the characters that they're going to be playing. The first guy that's introduced to us is Dempsey Burke. Never heard of him. Sorry, don't know if he's a big name or not. Never heard of the guy. Kind of gave me a big old Mad Mardigan feel from this guy. He literally looks like a young Val Kilmer. So is this Mad Mardigan and Sorcha's son in here? That would be kind of cool. I haven't heard anything about any of the other recurring cast coming, like Val Kilmer. What was his wife? He married her, Joanna something. I can't remember her name now. So the actress who played Sorcha. Anyways, I'd be shocked if Val Kilmer came back. I mean, after kind of everything that he's gone through in recovery with his throat cancer. So you got this, these guys here, this Dempsey Burke, you got, Amar Shadel Patel here. And what I found kind of weird about this, so Ellie Bamber, again, like basically all these people here, like so far, I haven't heard of any of them. Then you finally get into the first person. It took me a while before I realized who this guy was. Tony Revolori. He plays Flash Thompson in the new Spider-Man movies, so didn't recognize him with the goatee. So we got him there, and then we got what we got Ruby Cruz, and then finally we got Aaron Kellyman, who was in Solo with Warwick Davis, and also in the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. So she's the only person out of this whole cast. Sorry about that. The other guy from Spider-Man. So those are the only two that I actually know anything about. So it's kind of cool seeing them, continuing in some, Disney stuff here. But the thing that I found really bizarre about this clip was they really portrayed Warwick Davis as kind of this crusty, snobby, high-end actor. And I found that very cringy, and that actually really, really bothered me that they portrayed Warwick Davis that way. Like, just kind of like he's above these young actors, and he's like this expert in his craft, and he's like this big super thespian type guy, and he just came across as old and crusty, and that bugged me because Warwick Davis for me was always like the kid who won the $1 million lottery. Like, when he's always been the guy who's just exuded love for Star Wars. I mean, he was a fan of Star Wars when New Hope and Empire Strikes Back came out. He was a kid at the time, and then he gets cast to be Wicket, the Ewok in Return of the Jedi. He's like dream come true, right? It's the $1 million lottery ticket for a kid who loves Star Wars, then to get to be a major character in Star Wars. So Warwick Davis has always been upbeat and funny and like just exudes that love of Star Wars. And sadly for me, with him in this clip, it's just him coming across as so crusty and arrogant. It was like, oh, for me, that's just what Star Wars has been feeling like. It's just been feeling so crusty, and it just really bummed me out the way he portrayed himself in this video clip here. So, and they didn't, they gave you, gave us a little timeline that it's coming out sometime, in 2022. I'm going to guess December 2022. That seems to be when these big things seem to come out. They seem to get released in December. It was cool to hear the original score. Love that music from Willow. But no hint whatsoever what any of the story or anything like that's going to be about, which a lot of people that I talk to aren't aware. But there's actually a trilogy of books that came out in 1996 was when the first one came out. This is the first one called Shadow Moon, and this was the continuation of the movie. This was the book that's written by George Lucas and Chris Claremont. Now, if everyone knows who George Lucas is, but if you're not familiar with Chris Claremont, he was one of the top comic book writers in the 80s and the 90s. This guy was golden. He wrote some of the best X-Men stories out there at the time. And let me just read from the back of the cover here. This is what the story was originally in 1996, the sequel to Willow, right? It says 13 years have passed since the epic battle of Nockmar. I'm not wearing my glasses here. Nockmar Castle. So the epic battle of Nockmar freed the land from a tyrant's yoke. So the evil Queen Bavmorda is defeated in that battle, right? But then it continues. It says, but in the time since, the countryside has been racked by war and chaos. But according to prophecy, there is but one hope of deliverance, the princess Alora Dannon. But raised friendless and alone, she has grown into a royal spoiled brat. Doesn't that sound great? Like it's like the main character, like this deliverer, the savior of the world, grew up because she's so protected, because she's this, this prophecy foretold. She grows up to be just a royal spoiled brat. And it continues, says the fate of the great realms rests in her hands, and she couldn't care less. Like for me, this is like a great story arc. Like the person who the fate of the world is in their hand and they don't even want it. They just don't care. Right. And so it'll take a stranger named Thorn Drumheller to fight the opposing forces of unimaginable malevolence. Sorry. I wear my glasses. I'm getting old here. But first, he must strike a devil's bargain and resurrect a powerful warrior from her soulless sleep, bringing her into the world of blood and horror, where shadows have declared war on the light. Like, this sounds great. And I'm going to be honest, I never read this. So the book came out in 1996. I got a copy of it in 1996 because I loved Willow so much. I bought everything Willow when it came out. I had posters and action figures and little plastic collectibles, and there was even a Dungeons and Dragon D20 Willow source book for Willow role-playing game book that I've got. It's in a box in the storage room. I should dig that out one day. But I only read a few chapters of this. I never actually finished it. So this is my next big read, is to go through this. And I want to read this because I'm absolutely convinced that there is no way this Disney Plus series is going to be based on this book. This is going to be another one of those examples, I think, where it's going to be kind of a fine, okay story. But it's definitely not going to kind of be like dark and gripping like the way just this back cover makes this sound, like resurrecting, dead warriors, and the war between the light and the darkness, and a hero, a hero here who just couldn't care less and is a spoiled brat and is annoying, and so definitely going to be starting this and reading this. What's interesting about this too is even the fact that this character that Alora has got to team up with, this Thorn Drumheller, is actually Willow Offgood. That was one of the parts that I do remember reading, that he had a dream that Sorsha had crowned him with this new name, had kind of given him this new name as a kind of this warrior wizard. So he adopted that name. He gets rid of the name Willow Offgood and takes on this name of a Thorn Drumheller as his new identity as this wizard that's protecting the land. So definitely interested in finding this. I lost my copy of this book decades ago and just stumbled on this at one of the local thrift stores. My son and I were just looking for books and found this book in excellent condition. The spine's not even broken or anything. So probably whoever had this originally in the 90s, they probably never read it either because it's in such good shape. So looking forward to digging into that. So that's kind of interesting. Again, this Willow series, Disney Plus. I'm just not too sure what they're going to do with it. Hate being called a hater, but not very hopeful. But again, not seeing a lot of people talking about it. So that's why I just wanted to talk about that for a little bit here today on my tea break. And again, what usually happens on my tea break on Wednesday here is I forget to actually drink my tea because I'm just so busy having fun chatting with all of you. So, there's anything else? What else there was there? Oh, let me just share this. Again, it was just so cringy. I don't know why. I don't know who thought this was a good idea. I don't know who thought this was a good idea. Just this whole everyone just kind of like in shock and awe over Warwick Davis, and everyone just looking at him and, what are you talking about? And all just coming across as dumb and airheads and I don't know, just bugged me a lot. And so, anyways, guess you just can't go back, right? You just can't go back to the olden days. Unless you find old books printed in the 90s, and then you can do it that way. So yeah, I would love to know what you think about this whole Willow show. Are you excited for it, or do you think it's going to be good? Have you heard anything about it? Again, I have not seen a lot of rumors about it. Like again, the name of the characters have been dropped. They're all kind of like one syllable names. You got, Aaron Kellyman is playing Jade. Ruby Cruz is playing Kit. Ellie Bamber is playing Dove. So we got Jade and Kit and Dove. Amir is playing a character named Borman. But again, from what I remember of the book, and I'd have to leaf through it again here to make sure, but don't recall a single one of those names in this book at all. So, yeah, but none of them sound familiar. Oh, I love this dedication right here on the first page. The dedication from George Lucas, for fans of fantasy everywhere. So good. So good. Yeah. Oh, I think I'm going to start reading this tonight, actually. In the middle of the night, Willow Offgood rode the back of a dragon. It was a dream. It had to be. He'd gone to bed quite a bit later than usual after a hard day in the fields. Spring had come late this year, the weather changing. Oh, yeah, going back to his farming days and loved Willow. Jeez, I just hope they do a really good job of this. Yeah, exactly. Happy Warwick Davis is getting work. He pops in everything. He still popped up into Solo. He was doing voice acting in Star Wars Rebels. He was one of the Nogri in Star Wars Rebels. But yeah, agree. But beyond that, not interested. You just know they're not going to do. It's not going to be George Lucas's Willow sequel. That I pretty much can guarantee it, and that's why I want to read this. And so now the trick is now trying to find the other two books in this series because it's not in print anywhere. I've not found this in any bookstores. So I gotta kind of go on a grand adventure to find the other two books in this series just to complete that collection and give that a read, and then maybe I'll do a whole bunch of videos about the true sequel trilogy of Willow here on my channel as we geek out together. So that is what is going on with that. Apart from that, there's not a heck of a lot going on. Like I said, was way out of town last week, and what else has been new on my channel? My son and I did another music reaction video. Kanye West dropped a Donda Deluxe, so he updated a bunch of songs on his Donda album. So that was a lot of fun, hanging out with my kid and doing that video. Getting a lot of people joining the channel from my music reaction stuff, so that's fun. So we're going to definitely keep that going, and got a few other little ideas in the pipeline to have some fun, geek out together, keep the channel fresh. But I'll save those secrets till I'm a little bit more officially ready to launch them. as well. For anyone who is a member, I went back to doing the live DDPY workouts on Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning. So for $1.99 a month, and become a member, and you can work out with me, do some DDP yoga as I work on my certification. You know, work on your strength, your flexibility, your cardio, and have a great time and have some fun doing that together. So if you want to check that out, feel free to check that out. That's going to continue. Oh my goodness. OG Star Wars, thank you so much. It's super kind of you. Um, Very kind of you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Great idea. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely have a lot of fun with that. And yeah, I've been having fun. So what with the DDP yoga, what they've been doing is cool. That would be awesome. You know what? I'll see if I can. Yeah, I'll DM you and I'll see if I can get you access onto that, and would love some of your feedback because it's not yoga. It's not like the traditional yoga that you're obviously awesome at. DDPY. Uh, he's changed the name of it now to DDPY Fitness from DDPY Yoga because a lot of people are joining it thinking it's like a full yoga thing, and it's not. It's got yoga components to it, more from the stretching and the poses, but it has a lot more to do with sports rehabilitation, therapy, calisthenics, and different kind of things like that, dynamic resistance, and so it really been an amazing workout for me. I've dropped 40 pounds already this year, and I'm nearly done my certification. My 100 practice hours are done. My 20 teaching hours is done. I've written the written exam. I'm just waiting for them to evaluate some of my classes now, which is awesome fun. So yeah, so what they've been doing is because of the pandemic, they were allowing online teaching, and now with the pandemic easing up, they want to move away from online teaching and go back to in class. So I thought I was going to have to stop teaching online because, well, I did stop teaching online because they gave us a deadline of stopping by November the 15th, but they just extended it for another couple of months. So we're able to still do online classes until mid January at some point. But in person, so much better. I've got about a dozen people who come out on Saturday mornings now and do some DDPY with me. So it's been a lot of fun learning how to do that and teach it and just keep improving in my own fitness each and every day. So it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. See, anyone says you can't teach an old dog a new trick, you can teach an old dog a new trick because I'm an old dog. It's definitely been a season of learning a lot of new tricks. So, yeah, so that's about it. I wanted to kind of keep it a little bit short today. Again, just having a nice tea break. I've got a whole lot of meetings I've got to do this afternoon and into the evening. So, just wanted to come and hang out, talk some Willow off good, talk some DDPY with all of you. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Yeah, thanks for the reminder. I always forget how to do these YouTube things and asking people to subscribe and asking people to hit the like button and click the share and notification bells. I'm such a noob, even though I've been doing this forever. I just do it for fun, kicks and giggles, and if people have fun with me, then that's great. But thanks so much for all those reminders. So yeah, so I'm gonna sign off because I'm gonna warm up my tea before my next meeting. So hope you have a great rest of your day. Look forward to connecting with all of you here on the channel real soon. And until the next video, God bless you all and have a great afternoon. Take care, everybody.